Hello everyone, we're your hosts Connor
Jack
and Jona,
and this is Podcast Lizard. Alright guys, what I'd like to do first is introduce the fact that we've now got a Twitter up. So on our Twitter we'll be updating when we have new episodes, just general updates, maybe when we're thinking about recording a podcast. And in our descriptions of our Twitter and our SoundCloud, we have a link to our Discord, where we've set up a private Discord where any of our listeners can join.
Yeah, anyone that wants to put any sort of feedback or any kind of information for future podcasts or any comments that they've got, just stick them in the Discord and we'll be happy to address them or make a podcast of them in the future.
Yep. That's another thing that we're thinking about doing, is later on down the line is introducing guests to our podcast. So we can have a chat with people who we may not normally chat with.
Expand it out. Get new voices, new minds, new opinions.
Yeah. So how frequently do you think that we're gonna upload?
I'd say about once a week-ish, but not on any set day.
Yeah, I agree with that, yes.
Could be twice a week, may not be. It just depends on if we've got the content and the free time to be able to do it. So, today's podcast.
Yeah, what's in store then, Jona?
Today, we're going to be introducing you to each of the hosts a bit more by asking questions that the other hosts prepared for them. Just to sort of...
Right.
It was all done secretively. So the questions that we have for each other, the other two would have made questions for the one, and that worked in like a triangle. So me and Jona have 3 questions for Connor, me and Connor have 3 questions for Jona, and Connor and Jona have 3 questions for me. And we're just going to rotate like that, just so you can kind of get to know us a bit better. And we have no idea what the questions are, so it'll be good for us to kind of improvise this and see where this heads.
It certainly will.
So, we did a randomizer the other day just on who's going to go first with theirs, and it's Jona. So Jona's receiving the questions first.
Perfect.
Oh yeah. So, one of the things we have for you, Jona, is the topic of Heroes of the Storm. So you're addicted, you play it every day.
Yep.
Why? What's so good about it, and what do you like about it?
Combines everything I like in a game, really.
I mean, how is it different from the other games that are like, League of Legends, Dota?
It does a lot of things different. It's got multiple maps. It's got Blizzard characters, and I grew up playing them games. And I've just been playing the game since the alpha, so I've seen it change throughout its whole lifespan.
You like all the characters? There's nothing bad that you think about the game?
It's not perfect, but I like all the characters in the game.
And it constantly gets updated, so every few weeks or so you get a new hero, and then maybe new maps and new skins and everything, so it keeps it exciting.
Yep.
Yeah, but Connor, you don't really play heroes, do you? So
No, not really.
you won't have much of an idea what's going on.
No, I played it a couple of times, but
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
So, our second question, what have you got, Connor?
Our second question, Jona, this is a little story you can tell. It involves a seagull, Sunderland Bridges, and a particular donut that you bought. Fire away.
Alright. So, I'm on my way to university. And anyone who knows me knows I love Sugar Strand Donuts from Greg's. I get me Greg's. It's winter. I've got me hood up because it's raining. And as soon as I leave the shopping centre, I'm walking over to uni. I feel a big tap on my shoulder. And I think it's just one of these. I think it's Jack O'Connor. Before some seagull does a mad barrel roll over, snatches the donut out of my hand and flies away with it.
It's amazing how it didn't catch a finger or something and really hurt you, because I'm sure there was something on the news about a little girl that had her finger taken off when she was eating some fish and chips or something at Seaburn. Or
God,
Could have been worse.
it's like a near-death experience.
nah. If I lost a finger, that's me gaming life gone. It's nothing else to live for.
You're not learn to play with your toes.
Ah, no.
The thing is with that as well, it was just the start of the week, and things like that were happening the entire week. It was the worst week of my life, easily.
Start with a seagull. Just went downhill.
To be
That's
fair
hilarious.
though, I did strike the first blow on the seagull.
Did you?
When I was really young, my dad was pushing us around the town in a buggy, and he ran over a seagull and killed one while I was in it.
Oh my god!
So, I guess it was kind of even though, but
Karma.
I'm still
it's
not
a
happy
bitch.
about it.
Imagine if it was the same seagull though, remembered after all these years.
Oh, it's like the wife of the seagull that got murdered.
Oh my god!
Coming back for revenge.
Like a John Rambo seagull.
Aye, if John Rambo was a wife, yeah.
What?
Or
No,
a seagull.
the one that attacked him. You're the one that died.
Yeah, I was seeing the one that was the wife was the one that attacked him. Not the one that was brutally murdered by Jonah's dad.
Oh, so we're saying that the seagull that attacked Jonah was the wife.
No, it was definitely a Rambo.
Aye,
It did a full
Right.
flip over my shoulder and everything.
that's a good point.
It's a cool ass seagull.
I disagree.
So we've got your third question. So you are doing a computing science course at university.
Yep.
Where are you hoping that'll take you? Where are you wanting to get with that?
Well, it hasn't changed really since I started university. I've just wanted to get into some area of software development. Software
haven't-
engineer, something like that.
You haven't got any ideas of any companies that you'd like to work for? Or...
Not really, to be honest, and I probably should. I guess I'd need to look into that.
Well, we all do, don't we? Because we all don't really have much of an idea where we're going.
No, not really. I can't see where I will be next year to now.
Yeah, you've got no idea where you're going to turn up.
No. Alright, who's up next then?
It's you.
Right.
It's you.
Who's asking the first question then?
Jonna?
Yeah, I'll ask the first one. Right, Connor.
Yes.
I think most people who know you would say you're a bit of a movie guy.
Just a bit, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like I can ask you about almost any movie, and you'll have some opinion on it. You'll know about it. You've probably seen it,
Pretty much.
and you're always stopping up late to watch TV shows or movies.
I am. Aye.
So, is there any standout movies you have, or why do you watch movies all the time?
Good question. Standout movies. I mean, there's the classics like The Goonies. Have you seen The Goonies?
I think everyone's seen The Goonies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a classic. A personal favourite of mine is The Breakfast Club. It's a film that I related to. So, I
I
don't
feel
know.
so passionately about it. I imagine myself as one of
It was just, when I watched it, it was just really enjoyable, so it was cool. And then there's pretty much every Quentin Tarantino film that he's made. They're all just epics. They're absolutely brilliant to watch. But, going on to the other question, why I watch films?
every night. Like,
I mean, I've been slowing down lately. I haven't watched one in a while, to be honest. I've been watching TV series lately, but I mean, when I watch a film, it's just entertainment. I like to find films that not many people have watched, because you can find like gems in them type of films.
Well, that's an interesting story when I turn up to university and you say, Jack, you'll never believe what I watched last night. You'll come up with a film that no one's ever heard of before and tell us about how crazy it is.
Have you heard of the film called Rubber?
No?
I haven't.
A friend told us to watch it, and he said, "Oh, it's a really good film." I was like, "All right, I'll give it a watch." I was sitting down watching it, and long story short, it's about a tyre that has telekinetic powers, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It was blowing
Was it
people's heads
good?
off and that. No, it was horrendous. It was absolutely awful, but I had to watch it all because it was a tyre rolling it down a road, killing people.
Did you tell this mate that told you to watch it that it was shit?
Of course I did. And he went, "I know." He put a duped us to watch it. But, I mean, I'm glad he did dupe us to watch it, because it's one of them shit films that, like, so bad it's good. It's like
Like
on
The Room?
It's on the cusp. Oh, that's a different kettle of fish. That's a film I haven't seen, The Room. But I have seen clips on YouTube, but I know both of you have, because we were looking at a few the other night.
Just last night, yes.
Yeah. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, it's hilarious. It's
I
insane.
did not.
It's crazy. There is a documentary coming out. I don't know if it's this year. I think it might be this year. It's a documentary about The Room, how it got created, and it's apparently got like A-list stars like James Franco and his crew, like Seth Rogen and all them. They're all in it.
Really?
Just talking about the film and that. But I don't know much more than that. I just know what I've seen on IMDb. But
I reckon views on that film will shoot up then. Like DVD purchases of The Room will just magically appear out of nowhere from that.
I wonder if they made DVD versions of that film.
Well, I hope so, because like it's one of those that's so bad that you kind of need to see it.
Yeah, yeah,
Because you don't believe that a film could be that bad.
that's true. It's true. It's like that film I keep trying to get you to watch, Jack.
Which one?
What's that film called? Masters
Which
of
one?
Disguise.
No.
That's a film that is really bad, but it's on the cusp of being really bad. It's not good, but there is some scenes in that which are just hilarious. When he's dressed as a turtle, for instance, and oh, it's so stupid.
Well, I told you about Birdemic. I think you should see that.
I did watch. You did link us the trailer for that, and if
I
anyone
did.
hasn't seen the trailer for Birdemic, I recommend you go and watch the trailer.
Please watch it.
It's an experience.
well, they said that, I'm sure I read somewhere that the actual bird animation that they used cost them about £1 or something, about $1.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, I see in no way, but when you watch it, they've overexpensed it.
Well, that film went over budget.
Yeah. On the effects.
Whoa. So, moving on. You got your second question.
Right.
So, you're looking to move to the United States when you finish university, aren't you, Connor?
I am, yes.
Is there any big reason for that? Is there anywhere particularly you want to move to?
I've always said nowhere particular in America, but not the east side. So, not the New York
New York?
area or anything like that. I just don't like Florida, New York, Miami, anywhere like that. It's not where I want to be. Central, a Texas area, I think that would be hilarious because of like what we were discussing earlier in the day, going to rodeos and
Yes.
stuff like that. It would just be hilarious, and that's one of the reasons why I want to go to America, is because it's just so interesting, some of the stuff they get up to. Like some of the events they have on, they're just they're crazy. They're absolutely crazy.
Just it's totally different to the UK,
It is, yeah. And
that's what you want.
yeah, growing up in a place like Sunderland, there's not much to do. There just isn't. You have to travel outside of Sunderland to do more stuff. And I mean, I've always felt like moving out of Sunderland. So why not go to extremes and go like hundreds of miles across the world?
I mean, are you not nervous about that though?
Honestly, no, not really. But
I mean, do you not feel like that would kick in more when you get to the stage of shite? I'm actually having to move like next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I'm okay now, but it is a few months away. So, and I'm looking at doing this sort of like camp thing over there before I actually move out. So
I really like the idea of that. That summer camp with university. So you get the taster for, what is it, 6 weeks?
it's something like that. It's quite flexible, so you don't really know until you're placed. But
Right.
the interesting thing about that is you get a free month with a working visa over there, and that's outside of the camp. So they literally just say you can go and do whatever you want, which is the most interesting thing, aside from the camp. So hopefully I get placed at a camp.
Do you know exactly where in America they'll place you?
No, it's
Are there options?
it's sort of like, so there's a database of so many people that have applied to go to a camp, and them camp individually in America choose who they want. So you don't really have a say unless there's multiple camps that are coming after you. But it's unlikely if you haven't been before. So more than likely it'll be somewhere I don't know. Maybe.
And, we were talking earlier when at university, when I said to you, if you were looking for something massively different, you would move to somewhere in Asia, wouldn't you? But your fussy with food was the only reason you came back at me with that.
I'm very fussy with food, so a place
You
like
could do
Asia.
American food.
Well, come on, everyone knows American food. It's the standard burgers, chips,
And pizza.
Pizza, like everyone loves that sort of food. So I'm okay. But then when you go to like Asia, it's quite interesting. I'll say the food
Are you
over
not
there.
big on noodles and rice and fish?
No, nah.
None of them.
Seafood. I'm not partial to seafood, so
Oh.
it's not really good. And I'm not a big fan of like curries or anything like that.
That's a shame.
Yeah. So I'll stick with America and possibly
Okay, so
this-
your last question.
okay.
Have you got it, Jona?
Right, yep. Took a while to think of this one, but if I was to
Right.
think of any game to relate to you, Connor, it would be Footy Manager.
Why is that?
Oh, I don't know. How much hours have you got on all the Footy Managers on Steam again?
I mean, it's months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's months. So
And you're talking about more than one footy manager there. You're talking about like across 5 years or so of buying
Yeah.
the new footy managers.
yep, that's right.
So with the most recent one, I bought it around Christmas and I'm looking to get into it.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to know what you like so much about Footy Manager. How have you put that much time into it?
I mean, what I like about Football Manager is the fact that you dictate the tactics that you play, but you don't dictate how your team is going to play in that game, in that moment. So it's all what's the word? It's all unpredictable. So it's how you manage the team outside of everything, and you need to know what sort of roles you need to bring in over the years, because the way I like to do saves is I normally have one save for that whole time. I don't start them from the same year over and over again. So I go into like 2025 and that. So it's how I build up a career from a quote unquote shit team to a team where I'm dominating Europe with like a team like Bayern Munich or something. It's how I adapt over them years. So with the time that I put in, I'm always looking ahead. But the players that I have, it's like the players that I have, I always make up like relationships with them in my head. So there's some players where like I really don't get on with. So like if they don't play well, it's like they'll not get in the team for like weeks. And something that I like to bring up when I talk about stuff where players can affect like your mind is do you know Jason Manford? The comic.
Mm-hmm.
He tells a joke that he's a Manchester City fan, and he went to like a banquet this one time, and there's a footy player who used to play for him called Micah Richards, and he went to this banquet and he didn't know why, but he wasn't happy with Micah Richards. He was really upset with him for some reason, but he didn't know. And then like a few days later, he clicked that he had been acting up in Football Manager, and he'd been missing training sessions, and he had to fine him, and that affected his like real world relationship.
Really?
Yeah, with that player, which is like, it's crazy, but that's how invested you get into a game. So,
do you get like that?
Oh yeah, like you get so invested with them players that the time just flies by, and then before you know it, you've been playing it for like 6 hours. So that's how the time like racks up. But if you were gonna get into Football Manager, you have to have the time to do it.
Yeah.
It's not something you can pick up for like an hour. So
It's so much to absorb straight away as well, isn't it?
it is, yeah. And one of the hardest things about Football Manager was the beginning, choosing a team, choosing who you want to start with. It always sticks me at the beginning of a year. It's a nightmare.
And knowing you with that game as well, that's the game that can either make you absolutely ecstatic for the rest of the week or make you want to punch a hole through your TV.
I have buried a mouse because of that game. Yeah.
Well, you know, that isn't as bad as some people's game of rage, you know.
No, not at all. I know people who've done far worse, but
yeah.
I mean, it is still a mouse, so
It's the game that gets you on edge the most, isn't it?
it is. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, it's
You're
the one I
more
get.
invested in that.
Yeah, it's the one I get invested the most, for sure. Does that answer your question?
I guess so. So, moving on. Are you done now?
Yeah.
So that means it's your turn, Jack.
It does.
Right. Here we go. Jack.
Yep.
We know, but some of the listeners might not know, that you're an aspiring magician.
Yes.
You might have been expecting this question coming up.
I mean, like, if there's anything to ask me about, it would be that, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. Well, it is interesting because
It's not every day you come by one.
no, you don't.
No.
Right. So, why do you want to become a magician? So why do you want that as a career?
You want me to talk about how it first started?
You can do, yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it was from watching magicians on the TV. So you'll see them do a trick, and everyone has the same reaction. Where like they think, "How the hell did they do that?" You know, it blows your mind to a degree. You might see one special trick that you'll always remember as your favorite trick, and going back to it and seeing it on YouTube or thinking about it in your mind, you just cannot understand how it's done. And I decided to go out on a limb one day, years ago, and I bought a book, and I wanted to read up and understand how different tricks were done.
Right.
Because I just got so... It was more like it was actually annoying me that I couldn't work it out, if you know what I mean.
Really?
Yeah, it was I was watching the trick over and over again. I was thinking, how the hell do they do that? So I was thinking, alright, I'll buy a magician's book and I'll read it and see if they've got the tricks in there. And they did. They had loads of tricks in the book. But I in this specific book, I can't even remember the name of it. I don't know if I've got it in my bookshelf, but it said something along the lines of, if you go out of your way to discover a trick's secret, then you should also go out of your way to keep that secret and to show it off. Don't just seek out the knowledge without then performing it yourself, because you're ruining the art. And it made me think, like, I wouldn't be looking into that trick if I didn't want to know how it was done, if I wasn't entertained by it, if I wasn't so engaged with it. So I thought, well, okay, I'll try and perform some things. So I read the book, I learned different moves, different tricks that I could do. I showed a few people some things, and it starts from there, really. When you've first done a trick to a friend or a family member, even a stranger, it's really exciting to know that they like ask you, how's that done? Like you've stumped them and you've entertained them at the same time, and it's really nice. It's good to be an entertainer in that way. So, I mean, years later, I kept doing it and learning more and more and more, and now I kind of want to do it as a job. Is there anything else that you'd like to know about that?
So, like, on the career side of it, you say you want to do it as a job.
Yeah.
Have you looked into how you'd get into magic as a profession?
So
After university, if you want to do?
I mean, university's obviously going to be the priority at the minute, because I need to get that out of the way. But once that's over, what I have in mind, after emailing a few magicians, like famous ones, they don't mind you emailing and asking questions and trying to figure out ways of how they got established and a bit about them. And I spoke with one, and he said to not fall into a trap of convenient excuses where you're just putting it off and you're building it up, saying, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then you think, I don't know, it's not going to be likely, it might not happen, it might upset myself because it didn't work out or whatever. You kind of have to go for it, and you've got to try. So I was looking into different ways that other people did it, and I got told to go into restaurants, go into bars, do different tricks there, totally for free, you know. You're just an entertainer at the minute until you've kind of got video evidence, maybe, or like a portfolio or a name for yourself, like a Facebook page, where you could then start of advertise yourself and show off all the kinds of things that you can do. So at the minute I'm saving up for a camera, a decent one, so I can have the things that I can do recorded and then put up on the internet, or maybe even sort of develop my own website to get my name out there. But eventually, once I've got enough video evidence, I could start up my own business and, you know, maybe do kids' parties or weddings and maybe just different events in a pub or in a bar and restaurants. It'll kind of go from there, and then who knows, maybe the right person sees you and you get a stage show or whatever. It's all about getting established first, isn't it?
Yeah. Is that what you'll be working towards? A show of your own on a stage?
You know, that's the dream come true, wouldn't it? But
yeah,
I don't know where it would go from the beginning. So I'd have to start somewhere before I can say I'd I want to go down this route. But I guess I would love to be able to do sort of stage shows. But I don't know how that would, where I would go. Like who would employ me? Would I be a part of a group? I don't know where you would go to try and get these events. I wouldn't know how to get started.
Yeah.
So obviously in time, I guess maybe, yeah, I would love to do something like that.
Cool.
Does that answer the question?
That's great. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. For the next question, another hobby of yours, but a little bit of an older one. You were really into free running.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That started off a few years ago with a group of friends. I wasn't actually interested at first. My friends had been doing it for about a year or two before me. I was just going out with them because I was just going out for a bit banter. I didn't. They were my only friends that I would go out with, and they kept telling me for months, even years, to start it. But I just thought the same thing everyone else would think, and like, nah, I don't know, breaking a leg or doing something stupid, having an accident. But it's until you try, you kind of really appreciate it. It's you might think about all the dangerous aspects as that side of it, but it is, after all, just gymnastics, but outside. Once you give it a try and you start getting somewhere, it feels really good. And you just want to get better.
I, for one, can vouch that it is quite dangerous.
Yes. So there's a gym in Spennymoor, a gymnastics gym, and on a Tuesday and Thursday night they have like a free open session to people. Well, it's not free; you have to pay, but it's just a room that's available, like a free room for you to go in and do what you want.
Yeah.
And it had like 2 big foam pits and trampolines and runways and springboard flooring and lots of soft mats and equipment that you can use. And we went with me and Connor went with a few others.
It was
one
some of
time
your friends, and we were playing that game. What was that game called?
Horse.
Is it horse?
It's like if you have
Yeah,
to,
yeah, it was. Yes, yeah.
So it's one person might do a flip, and you've either got to match it or top it. If you don't, you get a letter, and it's whoever completes the word is the loser, and whoever stays in the game until the end wins. So it's just a test of skill, or like even a test of your bottle, really. How committed you are to beating someone down.
I mean, bottle does go hand in hand with stupidity. So.
Oh yeah, I mean you have to have a bit of craziness within you
Yeah.
to be able to do those sort of things. But in a kind of soft, safe, spongy environment, you'd think that you wouldn't hurt yourself. And so Connor did. I told him, just try a backflip, just try it. I'll be here. I'll watch you. I'll tell you. I'll talk you through it.
I had
He
2
tried
people
it.
spotting us.
Yeah, 2 people spotting, just like, it was just a guard. It was, we had our hands behind his back, so if something was to go wrong, we would try and push him round to get him to land almost on his feet or towards his knees, just somewhere he wouldn't land on his head. So that didn't work, and he landed on his head.
I mean, it's all a blur.
But you didn't exactly get knocked unconscious, did you?
No.
Right, so
But
he landed
like-
on his head, he got up, said ow a few times, had a couple of deep breaths, sat down for a bit, and then told me that he knacked up his chest. A couple of months later it seemed to heal.
Yeah, but it was horrendous though. It was like it was an injury where like if I sneezed, I was in agony. So whenever
Do you not think like you maybe like tore a muscle or something like that in your chest?
I could have done, yeah.
Because it lasted ages, like 2
It did
months
last
or
a
something
while.
you were-
It did, yeah. Every time I sneezed was brewing, I was petrified. But it was quite funny. So
Yeah,
I don't
I loved
regret it.
I loved doing free running. It was amazing. I did it for about 5 years, but when we started college, a lot of people went to different colleges and had different times that they were attending, so we couldn't get together as much, and then it kind of just faded out from there. But I loved doing it. I would give anything to go back to doing it, but I don't have the physical capacity to be able to do the things that I could do before. I mean, I could relearn it. It wouldn't take as long to learn it as the first did, but I'm not as healthy as I was. Cool.
Yeah. For your third and final question, this one's a thinker, right?
Oh God.
It's either you can't think of an answer, or there might be a story that pops in your head like straight away. The question is, as a child,
oh my God,
is there anything that you did looking back seemed quite strange?
Seemed quite strange. In what sense?
In this, I don't know, like,
It's like you're targeting me at one specific thing. Like you're trying to get me to own up to something that you all know, but I don't know.
No. Oh, let's change the question then. Let's rephrase it. Is there any interesting childhood stories that you have? Anything particular stands out?
As a child?
Yeah.
Like how young are we talking? Like primary school or secondary school?
Either, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Nothing really significant stands out.
No.
No. Then I was just about the same sort of kid everyone else was at school. Put my hands in a Bunsen burner accidentally once before. You know when you talk with your hands?
Aye. Yeah.
You get really into a conversation and your hands start going.
Right.
I was doing that and I had my hands just out in front of me and it was in a Bunsen burner and I didn't realise until like seconds later when I started smelling the hair on my arm was burning.
What?
Yeah, I set my hand on fire. Like the back of my hand was very badly burnt.
I shouldn't laugh, but
I didn't feel it until like after I took it out the flame. Though that was the weird thing.
That's crazy.
You'd think I'd know if my hand's in fire.
That is
I
crazy.
think I was committed to that conversation. I guess. I don't know why that's popped into my head.
Well,
I haven't got anything significant as a child.
no.
No. I guess when I was at secondary school, I was into all that free running stuff, and I did that for about 5 years, the entire secondary school, pretty much, and then the first year of college. But I don't really remember anything. It's all just a blur. I don't know how I got here.
Well, we think that every day of our life, don't we? In terms of
What did I do?
university.
Oh my God! Oh, you mean a shared opinion? You're not just like saying that about me. You're just like, well, I don't know where you came from.
It's like, geez, how's he still here? Yeah.
Yeah, university
very
is
much
also a
shared.
blur. What did we do today?
I mean, we went to university and had a chat.
That's what happened. Yes,
Yeah.
that was it, wasn't it?
We did a little bit of work,
No,
but
you did a little bit of work.
yeah. But it was more of a discussion than actually doing work, so
I can't work at university though.
it is difficult.
It's really difficult. Like you come home and it's so much easier. I'm too distracted because, well, I mean, I'm the distractor. But we're all distract each other. That's the problem.
Yeah.
We're all instigators of a conversation.
I mean, some are worse than others, but
Yeah, I mean, you're horrible. Like,
whoa.
it's the worst one. It's you.
I sit there quietly. What you talking about?
How dare you?
Lies. It's all lies.
Are we all done for me?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, thanks. That was good.
So that's been a bit about us. We hope you all enjoyed and liked what you heard. At least now you kind of know a bit of the insides about what our past, our likes, and what we get up to on a daily basis.
And just a reminder, you can find us on Twitter @PodcastLizard. And feel free to join our Discord server. There's a link in our Twitter and our SoundCloud, and you can talk directly to us as hosts, you can talk to each other, post whatever you want.
Yeah, give us some content, give us things to talk about. We'll be happy to read through stuff and see what kind of things you guys want to hear about.
Okay guys, thanks for listening. This has been Podcast Lizard, signing off.